There's a lot of data that shows if you build it, they will come. Wherever there's been a bike path put in, people flock to it. Ask anyone in Stowe. You know, there was a lot of resistance to that path decades ago when that was first proposed.
You mean the one down sort of along the river there?
That's the path that runs 5.2 miles. It ends at Top Notch, and it starts behind the community church on the main drag in Stowe. And that has proven month after month, year after year, to be an economic engine for Stowe. People drive from all over Vermont and outside of Vermont just to ride that 5.2 miles.
People, it's more biking than walking, or is it both?
If you've ever been on it, it's a combination of joggers, bicyclists, both adult and child and youth, moms with strollers, people themselves walking, dog walkers. It's skateboarders. It's a multi-use path, but people love it. They love it. And anytime there's been a walkway built, think of the Cliff Walk in Newport. Boardwalks, along the ocean, wherever someone puts a path designed for walking, people love it. And whatever resistance has been put up melts away as locals say, oh my goodness, this is a good thing.
But do people use it as a recreation, or do they also use it to some extent as a substitute for taking their car? Because that Stowe place, the Stowe path, if I'm guessing right, doesn't really go from your house to the store, from most people's homes to school.
Well, it kind of depends on where you live and what your destination is. But the Stowe rec path crosses crosses the road many times. So it's actually far from isolated. There are many opportunities to run pragmatic errands in and around Stowe, using that as a partial means or a shortcut. And that's just one path. It's perhaps not the best example. But it's curious to me that very often we, as bicycle advocates, find ourselves defending bicycling, insisting that it's transportation. It's not just a toy, it's transportation. And it occurred to me recently, since I've been doing this for 6 years, that perhaps it's okay for it to be recreation, even if it was just recreation, because as a species, we have so many health threats that are based on our inactivity. And chronic disease is in epidemic levels throughout the world.
Would that apply to walking also?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Any physician, if you give them a laundry list of chronic diseases and say, where's the magic bullet? What's the cure? They'll say exercise. Exercise will help heart disease. Exercise will help high blood pressure. Exercise will help obesity, and on and on and on. It's a preventative. It's something that can be used as a treatment. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your physical health. And all doctors know this, and all health professionals know this.
Now, in Vermont, in most places, aside from downtown Burlington and perhaps a few others, you can take your bike on the sidewalk. Is that correct? It's legal to bike. You're supposed to be
walking the bike or bicycle?
Oh, riding. Can you ride your bike on the sidewalk?
That's an excellent question. It comes up all the time. Whether or not you can bike on a sidewalk depends on the municipality. The local laws apply. And I'll give you an example. In Burlington and Montpelier, it's forbidden to bicycle in the downtown business district.
Right.
So and I was told by a policeman in Montpelier that the simplest way to remember that is if there's a parking meter there, you shouldn't be biking on the sidewalk. Once you get to the outlying areas where there are fewer people, less congestion on the sidewalks, you're permitted to bike on the sidewalks. And that's the general rule I give people when not certain.
So there is a connection here between bicycling and sidewalks as well as between walking and sidewalks. That better sidewalk facilities would also be a reason for people to bike more, to work.
Well, in general, we believe sidewalks are for walking. There are too many possibilities of hitting a pedestrian, hitting a child. We train people to bicycle with traffic, on the road, going in the direction the cars travel, And we actually have courses for youth and adults on bicycle handling skills, explaining what the rules of the road are. Many people don't know, which is fine. It's, you know, we're happy to
In other words, a
educate
bicycle
them.
is a vehicle, and you should treat it as.
A bicycle is a vehicle in all 50 states. And we observe the rules of the road as they apply, except, for example, in cases like limited access highways, such as I-89. You're not allowed to be on I-89 with a bicycle, so that doesn't apply.
So from your perspective, then, sidewalks are primarily for pedestrians.
Yes.
But still, we get down to your contention that if there were more sidewalks and if they were in good shape, more people would walk.
That research
more.
has demonstrated that. The Alliance for Biking and Walking has excellent data on the increase, the uptick in bicycling when there are bike lanes, when there are bike paths, when there's bike parking, when infrastructure is provided, bike racks on buses. More people bicycle. You make it easier for them. Likewise with walking. Provide places to walk, people walk.